In quick revision, today we are going to see about heart. Heart is a hollow muscular organ. It is covered by a membrane called pericardium. The main function of the heart is to pump the blood to different parts of the body, to supply oxygen and to remove the carbon dioxide. So you can say, in other words, heart is the pumping station of the body. It is a hollow muscular organ. This is totally made up of only muscles, and the heart is covered by a covering membrane called as pericardium. So all the organs, internal organs, have a covering, and the covering of heart is called as pericardium. So where is the heart located? It is located in the thoracic cavity between two lungs. You have a sheet of muscle called as diaphragm. The cavity above the level of diaphragm is called as thoracic cavity, or the chest region. What you normally call as chest is called as the thoracic cavity. And the cavity which is present below the sheet of diaphragm is called as abdominal cavity, where you have the digestive organs. So in thoracic cavity, what you have from here, nasal cavity and oral cavity. Here you have trachea, two lungs, okay, pair of lungs. In between the lungs, the heart is located, okay. So it is located in thoracic cavity between the two lungs. How many chambers are present in the heart? Totally 4 chambers. This means room. Meaning of chambers is room. Okay. This is going to be just a pictorial representation. For example, imagine this as 2 floors of a building. Okay. The ground floor has got 2 rooms, and the first floor has also got 2 rooms. I will divide this into 2 equal to, this is the right side and this is the left side. Okay. So this is the right side, you have 2 rooms, ground floor and first floor, and the same on the left side, ground floor and first floor. I am going to call these 2 rooms as ventricles. Okay, these 2 are called as ventricles. The one on the down are called as ventricles. On the right side you have right ventricle, and left side you have left ventricle. Same way, the upper 2 rooms are called as auricles or atria. So you have right auricle and left auricle, or right atrium and left atrium. So the heart is, if you divide the heart into 2 equal halves, you have right atrium and right ventricle. On the left side you have left atrium and left ventricle. These 2 rooms have 2 openings which come inside. Okay, they are blood vessels. Same way, in between the 2 rooms you have a small door. Okay, these 2 sides. This, you can call this door as valve. Valves of the heart, because this prevents the backward flow of blood. For example, blood from other parts of the body enters the right auricle and it is pushed into the right ventricle. So when it is pushed inside, the pressure inside will increase. So to prevent the backward flow from ventricle back to auricle, this valve acts as a door which closes the opening. Okay, so valves prevent the backward flow of blood from ventricles to auricles. Same way, from the ventricles you have 2 outlets or 2 blood vessels. From the right side you have pulmonary artery which leads to lungs. And from the left side you have a major blood vessel called aorta which supplies blood to all parts of the body. So from the right side, what leaves the ventricle, right ventricle, is pulmonary artery. It goes to lungs. Okay, from the lungs, the pulmonary artery enters the lung. This side carries deoxygenated blood. The right side of the heart receives deoxygenated blood, that is deoxygenated blood from the which has got low oxygen content and more of carbon dioxide. It has to be purified. So from all parts of the body, blood flows into the auricle. From the auricle, the blood is pumped to ventricles, right ventricle, from right auricle to right ventricle. From here, the pulmonary artery takes the deoxygenated blood and gives it to lungs. At the lungs, the purification takes place, that is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. Once the blood is purified, blood vessel from the lungs, that is called as pulmonary vein. The pulmonary vein enters the left atrium, the other side of the heart. There is, see here, there is no mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. So from the lungs, the oxygenated blood, that is purified blood, enters the left atrium. From left atrium, the blood is pushed into left ventricle, and from left ventricle it is sent through aorta to different parts of the body. Now the body can receive oxygenated blood from the aorta. So this is what normally happens inside the heart. So now you can say the points, you can see the points. Chambers, how many chambers? 4 chambers. Chambers means rooms. You have 2 rooms on either side, 2 atriums, right and left, and 2 ventricles, right and left, right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. Now coming here to valves. These valves prevent the doors which prevent the backward flow of blood. You have one more valve here between the pulmonary artery and the ventricles, between the aorta and the left ventricle. So the valve which is present between, there are 4 types of valves: tricuspid, bicuspid, pulmonary and aortic valve. This is very easy to remember. Tricuspid valve is between right atrium and right ventricle. Same way you will have another valve here, that is called as bicuspid valve or mitral valve, which is present between left atrium and left ventricle. The valves between right ventricle and pulmonary artery is called as pulmonary valve. From the name itself you can say this is pulmonary valve and this is aortic valve. So tricuspid valve is present between right atrium and right ventricle. Bicuspid or mitral valve is present between left atrium and left ventricle. Pulmonary valve is between right ventricle and pulmonary artery. Aortic valve is between left ventricle and aorta. Now there is one more important point. The right side of the heart receives blood from the body, sends to the lungs. This is the deoxygenated blood. It is sent to the lungs for purification. From the lungs, blood gets purified and enters the left atrium through pulmonary vein. So the left side of the heart receives blood from the lungs, which is the purified blood, and sends to the body the oxygenated blood to different parts of the body.